on 6'4" Ubaldo Jimenez.
That riding fastball, the one he's able to control to both sides of the plate. Hard biting curveball, and then the changeup, that splitter. Sometimes he'll go with the circle, sometimes he'll go with the straight split. But 10 strikeouts in his last outing, like I talked about in the open. Look for him to command that fastball against the Diamondbacks today. Work both sides of that plate.
Just a perfect afternoon for baseball, not too hot. Sun shining over Coors Field. Rockies looking to take this series from the Diamondbacks for the payback from less than 2 weeks ago in Arizona. Took 2 of 3 from the Rockies. First pitch of the ball game inside. I know you like that. I know you like that.
Why is that? Because that's what we talked about before we came on the air. I said Stephen Drew was just way too comfortable in the box last night. I want the first pitch to get his feet moving. How about that?
You said that 2 hours ago in Jim Tracy's office. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it wasn't a head hunting thing. They did exactly what they needed to do, because get him to think something else is going to be coming up there other than something right over the middle part of the plate. I like that. That got me excited for this ball game already.
There you go. Jeff Houston's fired up. Here's the 1-1, and swung on and missed. It is 1-2 on Drew.
Well, you go down and away after throwing a couple fastballs. That was the circle change. The one he turns over, fade away from the left-handed hitter.
And Jimenez's fastball runs outside and high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stephen Drew has only 16 at-bats in the leadoff role this year, but plenty in the past. And this is popped up, foul ground, and playable, I think, for Ian Stewart. Nice job, Ian. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Rockies' gloves this afternoon. Seth Smith, Brad Hoff, the corner outfielders. Carlos Gonzalez for Dexter Fowler in center. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmas in help. And Yorvi, Torrealba is doing the catching this afternoon.
It's nice you get a couple guys a couple days off with the day off tomorrow. One of those being Chris Iannetta. Save those legs if you start to get towards the beginning of August.
Romero fouls the first pitch back, a 96-mile-an-hour heater. 0-1 on Alex. You know, even Fowler, if you're watching at home, you're saying, well, Dexter, he had 2 hits last night, 2 RBIs. Why sit him down? He's swinging the bat well. He's getting on base. And on one hand, very definitely you agree, but I thought Jim Tracy made a very acute observation, a salient point earlier today when he said, this is a kid that had to battle his tail off to make the club in spring training. So it wasn't like one of these veteran guys that's cruising through spring training. And he said he's played a lot of baseball.
Well, he has. They had to find out what they had. So from day one of spring training, he's been out there. He's been having to battle every single at bat. So good for him. And then you get Carlos out there. Don't sit him on the bench too long and let him gather a lot of rust.
And when Carlos is in the lineup, the starting lineup, it's a very good thing. The club is 21-4. 21-4 when Carlos Gonzalez starts. Ball and 2 strikes on Alex Romero just underway. It looked like the split.
Yep. Splitter that he didn't finish out in front. Off to the side more. A good look from the Hyundai cam. Really see the way he splits those fingers.
Line drive. That is a fair ball. It just touched the line. It wasn't hit very hard. It's going to be a double for Romero.
Well, it wasn't hit very hard. Changeup, he got out in front a little bit, just able to keep it in fair territory and hit right on the line from the side. Just a little head bob at the end, and then right on the chalk, or the paint, I should say now. That's how they do that here. They paint the grass.
That'll bring up Justin Upton. Rockies would like to keep him quiet for another couple of hours. 3 for his last 21 at the plate. A couple of hits in the series. He does have 3 RBIs. He had the triple last night on a ball that was just scalded to center field and was knuckling. We talked to Dexter about it this morning. He said, I thought I was in great position. He said, but I knew the way that ball was moving, it was going to be a challenge because all of a sudden it made a left turn.
Yeah, what he told me, he goes, I'd rather try to hit that than try to catch it. That's how much that ball was moving. And Brad Hopp in right field, I talked to him too. He was like, I didn't know what to say. In, back, right there. I just be quiet and say, hope you catch it.
In there for a strike. 1-1 on Upton. In his career, Ubaldo just 1-2 against the Diamondbacks, but his ERA is very good, 2.75. And that is a foul ball. Let's take a look at our Bird Auto keys to victory for this afternoon's game between the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Well, the first one is a quick turnaround. You had the night game last night, day game today, so you got to get that blood flowing a little bit earlier and realize that, you know what, it's a 1 o'clock start. Then the bullpen, we talked about it. They've got to go out and really forget about what's happened recently, because there's no good dwelling on the past. You look towards the future and try to make your pitches, and then 9 full innings. And this includes everybody. Because last night, that's what happened. The offense jumped out there early, but then after that, they only got 1 hit, and that was in the 9th inning with the 8th inning with Ryan Spilborgh's triple. So 9 full innings today. That's the biggest key of today's ball game.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Upton. Romero at second with 1 out. Upton 0 for 7 lifetime against Ubaldo Jimenez. He spreads out a little farther with a 2-strike count. And a comebacker. They got him hung up. And this is going to take a little too long. Why don't you break that rundown down for us, because it was 1 throw, I know in your mind, maybe too many, allowing Upton to get the second.
Right, exactly. The comebacker to Ubaldo Jimenez. Once he gets it, he checks the runner, and he did the right thing, giving it up to Ian Stewart. Ian Stewart's got to get that ball up by his hand and run full speed to commit to that guy and make him start running, because once he starts running, it's much more difficult to turn and stop. But good thing that Yorvi Torrealba went over to third base and got in there. But what you allowed was Upton to get to second base instead of getting that, tagging the guy, and now you have Upton at first base.
And Mark Reynolds at the plate. And that's on the outside corner at 98 miles an hour. How about this stat? Cleanup hitters, 4-hole hitters this year against Jimenez, 5 for 53, an 0.94 average. That's a strike also. That also at 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, and that's where he'll turn it up. He'll sit there 95, 96. He has a rare ability to reach back and get some more when other guys don't. But how many times do we see the number 4-hole hitters do damage against the pitchers where they're hitting well over 400?
That's generally why they're in the 4-hole, right?
Yep.
I like that location.
I do too.
Tried to get that above his hands at 98. I don't care who you are. I don't care. You talk about the fastest hands in baseball, Huey. You got to get started a little earlier, don't you, with a guy that's throwing this hard?
You're exactly right, Drew. You have to. Your mindset is, I got to get it going because he's going to blow it by me.
Just sitting on 98. Now they count at 2-2. I will say this about Reynolds. Tell me if you concur. He's still striking out at the same rate, but he's not as wild a swinger as he once was.
No, you can really get him by expanding the zone, going out, and not even throwing a strike. But that he has cut that down. He's still, like you said, he's still going to strike out because that's just his swing. There's nothing you can change about that. But a lot of his strikeouts before were not even balls that were close to the zone.
So now it's 3-2 on Reynolds.
Get some new lumber.
Yeah, that slider broke the end of the bat.
Hyundai Cam, the spin on that ball, working down and away, and Reynolds tried to get it, hit it right off the end of the bat, and he has a cup bat, and that's why you saw the bat splinter like that. A lot of times they won't splinter if you have the bat that is just full at the end.
Yeah, Dexter Fowler told me something interesting. I thought today he uses the bat he's going to use in the game. He uses that BP. Not a lot of guys do that.
He's one of the rare guys that'll do it because you take so many swings, those bats start to splinter a little bit. So you want to have your game bat separate from your BP bat.
3-2, and that's fouled off.
A lot of guys will bring out 3 or 4 game bats and just have them ready in case, because sometimes you'll go through in a bat where you'll foul off 2 or 3 pitches, you might break a couple bats.
23rd pitch of the inning for Ubaldo.
Good foul.
Foul ball.
That's a good thing too, because that sounded loud.
Yeah.
He's asking right now, Yorva, the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn, what that was. Was that going to be a strike? Yeah, it was going to be.
I don't slow it down again.
No. Go inside, try to bust him up.
Strike through on the outside corner at 98. So Jimenez locks up Mark Reynolds. And no problem in the first inning. A Romero double. Upton left at second base. The Rockies will be facing John Garland, who is in his first year in the National League. A long time with the White Sox. Last year he was with the Los Angeles Angels. Signed as a free agent in the offseason. And the lineup he'll face: Seth Smith in the leadoff role. Then Barmes Helton-Hop. Tulowitzki homered yesterday. Ian Stewart swinging the bat well. Carlos Gonzalez in the 7-hole. Yorvi Torrealba hitting .417 this year against the D-backs. And then Jimenez. But it'll begin with Seth Smith, and this is his 9th consecutive start. He had an 8-game hitting streak snapped last night. Garland has never pitched before at Coors Field. A sinker at 88 on the outside corner.
And that will be interesting to see how that sinker sinks here. If he try to change his arm angle at all? Does he try to create more than what's out there?
Garland's name being kicked around. Will he be with the Diamondbacks after the trade deadline? Veteran arm is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It seems like anybody with a name who's going to be a free agent either at the end of this year or the following year on a team that is well below 500, they can read about themselves in the paper leading up to the end of July.
Well, let's not forget, he was also back when he was first coming up with the Cubs. He was traded to the White Sox. He was one of those prospects that was traded at the trading deadline for Matt Karchner. So he's been on both sides of the spectrum. He's been that guy down in the minor leagues that gets traded for a veteran name guy, and now he could be on the other side of it.
Inside 2-2 on Seth Smith, who has familiarity not only now in the big leagues a little bit hitting the leadoff role, but he did it on occasion in the minor leagues. And it's a comfortable thing for him. And this ball sliced to left field. Romero coming on. He makes the catch. Let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on John Garland.
88 to 92 with sink, and that's what his primary pitch is. Works right around 88 to 90. The changeup, he'll fade away from the left-handers. I threw the cutter on there because that's the one pitch he tries to keep the left-handers honest with. The one that kind of cuts onto your hands right at the last second, and then an occasional slider, but mainly fastball, changeup, cutter.
And he hits the strike zone on Clint Barmas. Barmas in last night's ball game was 1 for 4. Also walked, stole a base. John Garland's a big guy, 6'6", 210 pounds. And though he's been in the big leagues for quite a while, first reached the big leagues in 2000, he's still only 29. And that is a foul ball. Good effort by Mark Reynolds, won't count. Reynolds last night throughout baseball, the play of the night defensively with that catch that took him into the seats. Romero, Young, and Upton in the outfield. With Reynolds is Drew, Ojeda, and Whitesell, with Miguel Montero doing the catching.
That was a nice play, even though it was a foul ball by Reynolds. And that's the thing about him. He always makes the tough plays for me. Sometimes it's the routine plays that'll get him.
Here's the 0-2 to Barmas. Here's the catch we were referencing.
How about this effort? And has no regard for any of his body. What's happening? He doesn't care about the wall. He just reaches over there and then flips over. Shows the umpire the baseball. I got it right there.
Reynolds throws out Barmas. This one does count. 2 gone. That'll bring up Helton. A reminder, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs in any ball game, go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and receive 4 tacos for $1 with the purchase of a drink. Great deal from our friends at Taco Bell. Todd last night took a rare collar. He was 0 for 5. It's down low. Hitting .329 against righties this year, .297 against left-handers. This ball is sliced to left for a base hit. So a 2-out knock, then it'll get Brad Hopp to the plate, which is always a good thing.
Well, it is, but Todd just went back to his bread and butter. His bread and butter is just taking a sinker away from him, staying on it, head down, driving it to left field. I mean, had to drop that back elbow. The left elbow allows him to hit this ball the other way because he drops it into the arm slot right by his side. Now the barrel can clear through there and hit it to left field.
Inside on Brad, who's 0 for 3 in his career against John Garland. .322 average, 15 home runs, 61 RBIs, 6th in the league in hitting, 10th in RBIs, 4th in slugging at .585, on base percentage of .402 is 9th. Pretty good stuff.
That's real good stuff.
He had a quality swing there.
Yeah, he did. A ball that was up just a little bit, able to make a strong pass at it. Monday Cam, when that front foot gets down, those are when the hands start to come through the zone. Just worked underneath it a little bit. Might have been towards the label just a smidgen.
Outfield very respective of Brad Hopp's power straight up. Infield swung way around. Basically a shift is on.
Well, that's the way you have to play, Brad, in the outfield, because you don't know. He's got power all to all field. You saw him hit the home run in San Diego to left field. And just able to hit the triple last night down the right field line. But the infield, they're trying to play him, especially with Garland and the sinker ball pitcher, where they feel like if they get him to swing at it on the ground, it'll be more towards the right side.
Bottom of the first inning, no score. 2-2 on Brad Hopp. And Garland strikes out Brad. So Helton left at first. We'll go to the second inning.
Have to have a basic package early, for right-handers, basic package for left-handers. Not trying to throw the kitchen sink at him. I think when he tries to throw the kitchen sink at him, he has command of nothing. Sometimes you got to be satisfied with a really solid rhythmical delivery, and he throws his 95. He's consistent there.
Yeah, his 95-mile-an-hour fastball right there, just a tad inside to Miguel Montero. It's a great point, isn't it, Huey? Because too often when a guy has a vast repertoire of great pitches on the ground to third, Stewart will throw him out. You as a pitcher, it's like going to a candy store. Do I get the Snickers, the Milky Way, the M&Ms? And from Bob Apodaca's standpoint, he goes, hey, don't show him everything early. You know what? Work with that fastball for a while.
Yeah.
It's 95 to 100.
Yeah, you can command it. Why not? I mean, I like that idea of what Bob's saying. Going out there, because as a hitter, if a guy shows me all 4 pitches my first at bat, I feel pretty good and pretty confident looking for that my next at bat. So go out there, command 1 or 2 pitches. If it's your fastball splitting to the lefty, fastball slider to the right-hander, that's good enough. I mean, it goes back to that old saying, jack of all trades, master of none. And that's kind of what happens if you show them everything in the first inning or 2. Now you have nothing left to go to in the 5th or 6th inning.
What's wrong with third time through? All of a sudden, wow, I didn't know he had the hammer today, and he throws a curveball.
Where'd that come from?
Exactly. 0-2 on Chris Young. That was a quick at bat.
Well, that one goes back to the fastball slider.
Yeah. Too quickly gone. Josh Whitesell coming up. Time for our Mike Shaw auto update with Alana. Alana, you have the sunscreen on, I hope.
I do have the sunscreen on. I had my glasses on a little earlier. Wanted to talk about first pitch strikes. Ubaldo Jimenez doing a nice job there with that last batter. And it's not just Ubaldo Jimenez, those guys. It's the entire pitching staff. Jim Tracy and Bob Apodaca are very satisfied with the amount of first pitch strikes that their entire starting rotation have thrown. And Jim Tracy told me it's a combination of two things why they're being so effective. He said, number one, their deliveries are starting to be a lot more repeatable. It's allowing them to get deeper into ball games. He said, number two, they're not worried about it anymore because they know that the defense behind them will pick them up if they do make a mistake when they're throwing certain pitches. He said, because of that, we're allowing our starting rotation to go deeper into ball games. They have the confidence that they know that they can get it done, and until they show that they can't do that, they're going to keep them out there, guys.
You expect to get length out of him. How about this, Alana, to support your point? 15 starts in a row. He's worked at least 6 innings. That's a strike. And he's pounding the zone right now. 22 of his first 32 in the strike zone. And he's hard enough to hit, much less if it's 0-2, 1-2.
Well, and we saw what happened the other night with De La Rosa, how quickly he was able to work because he was getting ahead 0-1, 0-2. And now you can come at the hitters. You put them on the defensive. And then, as Alana said, when you got the defense behind it, and Ubaldo strikes out a lot of guys, but he also gets a lot of ground ball outs too. So there's nothing wrong with getting it out in the first or second pitch. If they're going to hit it on the ground, I can go deeper into the game.
Well, and to your point, I think with young pitchers, and we see him in this division, guys who have great stuff, Max Scherzer the other day. The Dodgers have a couple of young pitchers, obviously, that have great stuff and the ability to strike guys out. And when you look at those guys, typically, yeah, they'll run up the strikeout numbers, but they're 5 or 6 inning pitchers until later on in their career, because they'll pick the spots to go get the punch out, and then they're working later on in the ball game.
Exactly. Keep themselves out there just a little bit longer. They mature, though. They learn how to do that, and that's what Ubaldo's come to that point. I believe in his career right now that he understands, yeah, I can go out there and throw 115, 120 pitches. Do I want to do it in 4 innings, or do I want to do it in 7 or 8?
Kershaw and Billingsley, the 2 Dodgers referencing.
Matt Cain
with San Francisco. The guy that's figured it out pretty quickly is Tim Lincecum. He works deep and he runs up the strikeout count, but he also gets some early outs.
Yep. Not sure how Whitesell, with that really over rotation on the top side, was able to get back and foul that ball off. That chewed him up inside.
Does he overload?
Yes,
he
over rotates on his top half. I mean, that right shoulder really closes off, and when you close off that much, then the only way you can get back out of it to hit again is to spin. And that's something that you can get away with in the minor leagues because you don't have the scouting reports. And big guy like that, you'll think just pitch him away. Well, that's where he wants the ball. To get him out, you can come inside.
This ball is well hit, left center field, and this is over everybody's head. Seth Smith will grab it. Whitesell will have a double.
Well, where was the pitch? It was away from him, allowing him to keep that rotation through the zone just a little bit. 10th pitch of that at bat for Ubaldo. Ball's supposed to be inside a little bit more, but not, that's how it went back over outside part of the plate, like right in that area. And Whitesell just drives those hands to the ball. And from the side, you'll be able to see this rotation of that shoulder go back before he starts to go towards the ball. That's why, to me, pitch him inside. Don't let him get those hands extended.
Augie Ojeda takes inside ball 1, heading out of the 8-hole. Ojeda has struggled with the bat of late. Augie is 0 for his last 10 at the plate. One for 17 the last 7 ball games. Here's the 1-0, and that's way inside. 2-0.
Get Augie out here. Right? Go ahead and pitch to him. Don't pitch around him so you can get to the pitcher.
No, it's too early to do that.
Yeah.
Have the pitcher start the next inning. B.J. Rayburn is the home plate umpire. He indicates that's a strike, 2-1. He's joined this afternoon by Mike Estabrook at first, Paul Emmel at second, and Gary Darling, the crew chief, is at third base. Three and one. And he was pounding the strike zone until about the last 6 or 7 pitches, and now he's behind 3-1 to Ojeda. Augie much better from this side of the plate than the right side.
252 from the left side compared to 103 from the right side.
And ball 4. So Ojeda to first, and that'll bring up John Garland.
Well, there's the pitch count you were talking about, Drew. I mean, 24 in the first, had to pitch out of a little bit of traffic, and then 20 here, and 10 of those were to Whitesell, and then 5 more to Ojeda.
John Garland, not much of a hitter. It's not a huge surprise. A guy that has spent a lot of time in the American League. There's 1 career home run of 083 this year. Still got to throw it over the plate. 1-0.
Just 6 hits in Garland's whole career. Going fastball right down the middle, just set up over the middle of the plate.
He's a Southern California kid who absolutely dominated in high school. When he came out, he was the 10th pick in the entire draft. He was twice the player of the year in the state of California. One and two. Last time I checked, California turns out some decent baseball players.
Yeah, 1 or 2. Player of the year, and that many players out there. But you can see why. Back in high school, threw harder, 95, 96.
You know what? That's going to result in an out, but I don't know if I like that selection. He threw him a slider instead of a heater. Slow it down, right? You always say that.
Yep.
Tulowitzki in the bottom of the second to lead it off.
Way too much yesterday. I'm radioactive today. I'm radioactive. Come on, baby.
That's one way of describing that you have the mic on.
Radioactive.
Radioactive. Well, stay away from him.
Yeah.
Then, Troy Tulowitzki to lead it off in the bottom of the second of a scoreless game. Time for our job done right player of the series, and it is Troy Tulowitzki. A couple of hits, a home run, 3 ribbies in the series for Troy, who continues to really come on offensively, not to mention the night in, night out great defense that he plays. Job done right player of the series presented by the Colorado Association of Mechanical and Plumbing Contractors. To have your next building or service project done right the first time, visit mpccolorado.org. So Tulowitzki, Ian Stewart, and Carlos Gonzalez. Rockies with Tulowitzki in the 5-hole. He's become a fixture there. Ian Stewart behind him in the 6-hole. Become a fixture. Rockies are 17-8 with Tulo hitting behind Brad Hopp. And this ball is flying to right. Just the approach. I know it's a foul ball. You gotta like the approach.
Well, the approach is the same as what he had last night when he hit the home run out into right center field into the bullpen. His approach now is more towards right center field. If they come inside, yeah, he'll turn on it. But he has such great power that way. Why not utilize it? And especially with this sinker ball pitcher. Go ahead and stay up the middle.
On the ground to third. Tulowitzki is retired.
Well, that's what Garland wants you to try to do. Get out in front, roll over.
Here comes Ian Stewart. He knows John Garland. It's time to go outside the box with Jack in the box. April 20th, Garland delivers and Ian Stewart delivers. A long home run into the night. That's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwiches. 3 mini home-style chicken fillets on toasted mini buns. Stewart, 17 home runs. Tulowitzki, 17 home runs. They have the club lead. Stewart told me before the ball game, as he joined us on the pregame show, he feels great at the plate and great out in the field. He should.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a good player. Why not? We knew what he could do on defense, and then the bat's starting to come around on a more consistent basis. We've seen a lot of the home runs, but now last night he hits a triple in the left center field and utilizing the whole field now.
I asked him what kind of hitter, when I say hitter, you know I mean, what kind of batting average he believes that he'll eventually settle in at as a big league player. And he said, you know, something similar to what I did in the minor leagues, 280 to 300. And I agree with him.
Oh, yeah. No, I do too, because his swing is pretty good. He's able to stay in the zone a long time. He can hit it all over the place, and he has enough power that'll keep him out of those long slumps, and enough speed where he can get an occasional infield single too.
And the other reason I believe that, to add to what you said, is that he has a real good idea of the strike zone. You don't see him expand out of the zone.
Not too often he doesn't.
2-2.
And the other thing, too, is early on, he looked more comfortable against lefties than he did righties. Now it's starting to become at least 50-50, where his approach against right-handers now is starting to be very, very solid.
2-2.
Remember how many times early on he would just take a strike 3 fastball?
Yeah.
They would just kind of lock him up on a fastball. Well, you just don't see that as much anymore.
It's almost as if he had Chris Ionetta disease. And I'm kidding about Chris, but remember 2 years ago, Clint Hurdle used to tell Chris, you don't get 4 strikes, you get 3. He was so patient.
Right, overly patient, waiting for that perfect pitch.
Now this time Garland able to strike out Stewart. So Garland looks like he has good command of his stuff this afternoon. 2 outs, Carlos Gonzalez will come up.
This slider, one of his 3 pitches that he'll throw, and this one he got over the top more instead of over to the side, so over the top creates more of the downward plane on it, and that's exactly what happened on that one. When you look at what Garland, I mean, Garland in April and May was 4-4 with a 5.75 ERA. You know, June and July, his record's not that good, 1-5, but a 3.20 ERA.
That was a strike. Carlos Gonzalez has faced Garland 8 times, going back to his days in the American League with the Oakland A's. And not only is he 5 for 8 against Garland, 3 of the 5 hits doubles.
Man, that's another reason why Jim Tracy has him in the lineup today. He looks at those sorts of numbers too.
And he gets under this one. Shallow right center. This one is going to drop. So Gonzalez ends up at second base, hustling the entire way, not assuming it will be caught. And the Rockies, with 2 outs, have a runner in scoring position for the first time today.
Well, big swing from Carlos, and that's what froze the outfielders. And they're playing very, very deep. Augie Ojeda starts to run out there, and all you can see out of the corner of that picture there was Justin Upton trying to make a sliding catch, and it goes for a double for Carlos Gonzalez. And this is the swing I was talking about. Very, very big, violent swing when the Hyundai cam got it right off the end of the bat. And so as an outfielder, you're thinking, boy, he just squared that up. I mean, it's going to go deep. I've got to take a half step back to see where it's at, and that's what Upton did. And then that allowed the ball to drop into right center field.
Yorvi Torrealba against Garland, and he takes a strike. See how Garland works Torrealba with the pitcher on deck and first base open. Very quickly, day game, bright sunshiny day. You were primarily, as most people know, an infielder in your big league career. But when you went out and shagged, you were in the outfield and you had great versatility, was it harder to judge in the daytime or the evening with the lights?
Oh, daytime. It really was, because especially without any clouds up there right now, because you have no depth perception. You're looking at right what we're seeing right now. Those clouds, those are behind you, so that you have nothing to see the ball off the bat with. So you basically have to judge it right away. So you judge it by the swing.
1-1 on Torrealba.
The only other time that it's difficult, we've talked about it before, is at dusk. When the lights haven't kicked in at the stadium and you don't have the natural lighting. And that's the other tough time to try to pick up a ball.
Conversely, did you like to hit during the daytime or in the evening?
Yes, loved hitting during the day. I like playing day games.
Torrealba line drive center field. Around third, here comes Carlos Gonzalez. Young bobbles it, and the Rockies take advantage. 1-0. Yorvi Torrealba coming through, and that's why some managers hate to hit to the 8-hole with 2 outs and first base available.
Yep, and Yorvi this year, 4 for 10 with 2 out RBIs. He comes through once again, and we saw it a couple of times last night with Dexter Fowler. Slider down and away, hit it off the end of the bat, didn't hit it real hard. And this allows Carlos Gonzalez to score. And it just seems like we see out in center field quite a bit. Chris Young kind of bobble the ball. Is he trying to get rid of the ball too quick? Is he thinking, I got to throw it before I catch it?
You know, and that's one. You know, it wasn't hit very hard.
No.
It came up. Probably shouldn't have. His eyes got in front of his glove.
In front of his glove, yeah, but that's an easy hop to catch. You put your glove out further in front of you, so you have it out in front of your eyes, and then you make Rich Dower make a decision whether he's going to send the guy.
And a comeback by Jimenez, who dropped it. Talking about Garland, who dropped it momentarily. Still gets involved though. In the inning, a fly ball double by Gonzalez turns into a run.
0-2, 3-2. See how quick he's got to get it started? I don't like it. 3-2.
No.
There's the changeup.
Again, pitching coaches hate when it goes from 0-2 to 3-2, especially when you have Ubaldo's stuff. Rocky's got a run. Carlos Gonzalez involved on that double, brought around by Yorvi Torrealba. We go to the top of the third inning, top of the order for Arizona. Stephen Drew to face Ubaldo Jimenez. Drew fouled out to third, leading off the ball game. And he shortened up to bunt, and the breaking ball's in there, 0-1. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston upstairs, and we're joined by an old friend and colleague. He's not very old, though. Joel Klatt. How you been, man?
I've been well. Been very well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. How's that
be any worse than this, right?
Yeah,
Beautiful day.
The way they're playing.
This ball ripped up the middle by Stephen Drew. Can't wait till he leaves town.
Yeah.
He can flat hit.
He lit it up last night, that's for sure.
He did. 4 hits and a walk last night. That'll bring up Alex Romero. How's the radio gig going?
It's going great. I'm on 3 to 6, Mile High Sports 1510. It's a good little gig. I tell you what, going from TV into radio and filling those 3 hours of just live stuff, that get a little long-winded. You know what I mean? You know?
Didn't realize you could talk that much, did you?
Well, I always knew I could, and you should too.
Well, I do
mean,
know you. Yeah.
We used to be in the studio. I would just take up all your time.
That's right. I'd be like, Joel. Oh, good. Never mind.
Romero, that pitch misses inside. You also find yourself looking at the phone bank saying, oh, man, nobody's on the line.
Nobody's
When do I
calling
take
yet.
the next break?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. When's the next break, and what topic is going to get those phones going? But it's very exciting. I love talking just all the sports. You know,
Yeah.
I love talking Nuggets. I love talking Rockies, Broncos, and then obviously college football in the area is going to be very good this fall again. So
I would imagine right now, and we've seen the crowds pick up. We had 40,000 plus on Monday, better than 30,000 last night. A great afternoon crowd. The rock pile looks like it's filled up again. I would imagine a lot of the talk now that basketball's over and all of a sudden the Rockies have captivated people's imaginations surrounding the baseball team.
almost 100%. I mean, people love this ball club in this town. We've seen it ever since '93 when they first came here.
It hit hard enough, low throw, and the Rockies will get one. That looked like an option pitch. You know, that looked like a former Colorado quarterback who really liked to throw it, and every once in a while would throw out an option, and the pitch was low.
Well, trust me, I would circle the option every single time it was in the game plan, and I thought to myself, my goodness, they're really going to have me run the option. Ubaldo's got some good stuff today. He got in trouble throwing a little too many pitches, but you can tell when you're in on the hands of the hitter like he is right there that you got the good movement, Jeff. And Huey, you know, when a pitcher gets in on your hands like that, your timing's all off.
It really is, and that ball just wasn't quite hit hard enough, and then also the feed just was too low to handle. Just a little bit too far away from second base to do that backhanded flip.
Justin Upton at the plate.
Always get the one, though.
That's right.
You got the lead runner, get the one. Now you're just going to continue to work with one out in the
ball.
third.
A little bit slight hesitation when he started to come up. This is going to get Jim Tracy out of the dugout because DJ Rayburn was the only one that saw it. There was nobody else out there. None of the other 3 umpires saw anything what was happening. Not much of an argument from Trace. One look, see if we can catch where it is. Okay, he's set on the rubber right now, and now here's he's looking in for the sign. See if he just flinched just ever so slightly. You really have to be looking for that.
That was almost imperceptible.
Well, that's when sometimes umpires are just looking for something to call.
Third balk on the
Not
season.
that I'm saying it was
Well, sometimes at this point, a lot of times, Huey, that's just going to get let go.
Yep, right there.
Ever so slight.
Yeah. But it was a ball.
1 strike on Upton, and the fastball misses. Well, football is just around the corner.
It is. How about that?
Amazing. Football's always just around the corner.
Training camp for the Broncos starting up next week. Colleges are going to start up here in the first week of August, getting their camps underway, and it's going to be an exciting fall when it comes to college football in this town. You got the very first week of the season, Sunday night, August 6th, on this network, FSN. You got Colorado State. What an unbelievable environment that's going to be. I know a lot of people, Drew, don't like that game in Boulder. I'm a little biased. I loved it in Boulder. But I'd like to see it get back to Invesco Field at some point. But it's still, no matter where those teams are playing, it's a great game.
It is a great game. It is one of the better rivalries in college football, particularly one that falls beneath the radar, because it is always a game that goes down to the wire. Swung on and fouled off again. It's a 2-2 count now on Justin Upton. And to reiterate, we'll have it right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. It'll follow an afternoon ball game the Rockies will play. And you're going to be heavily involved with the Big 12 again. Hopefully you and I will hook up a little bit on coverage of Big 12 football, pre and post game on the network also.
Yeah, exactly. We do all those studio shows from down in Dallas, and you know,
a wild pitch puts Romero at third with less than 2 outs.
Well, think about this now. He's at third base because of a balk and a wild pitch. This ball out in front of home plate. It didn't even get to the 60-foot mark. Yorvik did everything he could and stopped it with that right forearm.
That's a great job by Yorvik just to block it the way he did.
Yeah, just to not let it even go back to the wall.
And now in a perfect world, you can somehow come up with a punch out at Justin Upton. 3-2 with 1 out. Infield playing back naturally. Here's the pitch, and it misses. So Upton to first, and Mark Reynolds will come up. And this is where Ubaldo gets himself into trouble. It is rarely that he loses a game because the other team beats him up with the bat.
Yeah, a lot of times it's self-imposed, you know, by Ubaldo, and he's going to continue to learn and continue to get better. I think that we've seen quite a maturation of Ubaldo so far in his career, especially this year. I think his record is not indicative of the way he has pitched thus far in the season.
No, it's not. And one of the other things that hopefully will flip around in this ball game, the pitch count with the Rockies very thin this afternoon in the bullpen. The pitch count is already at 60 after this delivery with 1 out in the third, and Reynolds fouls it off.
Yeah, that's it. To me, that's a big concern because we talked a little bit about it. You're looking at Franklin Morales might be down. Manny Corpus with his elbow, you never know what's going to happen. He's probably going to be down. So you're looking at a guy like Josh Fogg going to have to be the first guy up out of that bullpen today. But Ubaldo's got to try to fight through this, try to get you into at least the 6th inning.
This is where you need that one pitch that gets you out of the inning. Get somebody, you know, get Reynolds to roll over it to Stewart or to Tulowitzki, turn that double play, get yourself out of the inning. Minimize that damage, Huey, as far as the pitch count
well,
goes.
and also you don't want a guy like what you have up there in Reynolds, because think back to July 5th when in the 6th inning he took Ubaldo deep for a 3-run shot.
Reynolds more of a fly ball swing.
Yeah.
He's grounded into 6 double plays this year. And you have good speed at first, which means he's probably, talking about Upton, going to be able to get into a middle infielder, and Reynolds runs pretty well. 1 and 2.
Yeah, Upton over at first base, 13 stolen bases, only been caught 2 times. Ubaldo reached back a little bit more and just overpowered Reynolds at 97. This was a 4-seamer, nothing more than here's my best, try to hit it.
I just think that comes from what Bob Apodaca was saying after previous starts by Ubaldo. He wants him to just use that plus fastball to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah, and you can elevate now and get Reynolds to strike out. That's what they tried to do. Tried to go upstairs again. You just can't catch up. When you have a longer swing like Reynolds is trying to hit the ball out, you can't catch up to the ball that's above your belt up towards the Arizona logo on your jersey. They're going to go right up there again. And Ubaldo shook off to it. Wanted to go to something softer.
Swung on and missed. So the strikeout of Reynolds, the 2nd out of the inning. And now with 1st and 3rd, Miguel Montero will come up. Got him on a hard breaking ball.
Yeah, and this is 2 blocks in this ball game by Yorvik. The one that he blocked just a minute ago, textbook, dropping to the knees, rolling the shoulders. He doesn't care about trying to catch the ball. He just wants to keep it out in front. right over the top, hard breaking pitch.
A lot of trust by Ubaldo there in Torrealba that he's going to get the job done. Knows he's going in the dirt with that pitch to get Reynolds to swing and miss. A lot of confidence in Torrealba that he's going to get down, block that ball. That is perfect position right there.
The other thing too, that hit off his right hand, his bare hand. So far in this inning, he's gotten one off the forearm and also one off the hand.
And Montero spun around 1-0. Miguel hit a ground ball to third his first time up. 2 for 14 lifetime against Ubaldo Jimenez. Dangerous, dangerous stick at the plate. He's a good hitter to begin with, 290, and he always seems to elevate his game against the Rockies. Romero at third, Upton at first. Big swing and a miss. Made a big swing on a slider left over the plate last night by Wandering Cone, and it was the difference in the game. 2-run home run that gave the Diamondbacks a 6-4 lead. They would win 6-5.
Couple nights in a row, guys, that bullpen got hit around a little bit. That makes it all the more important for Ubaldo to have a nice.
He's
nice
done
outing.
it. He just did it again.
Sure did.
3-run home run off the facade of the second deck by Miguel Montero, and it is 3-1 Arizona. He turned on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. I said it last night. I'll say it again today. In the absence of Chris Snyder, Montero getting to play every day, and he's become a favorite of A.J. Hinch because he can do that.
Yeah, he can sit on a fastball, turn on it, and almost the same identical swing as what we saw last night on the slider. This time he opened that front side just a little bit more, but right on the sweet spot. Not much of a leg kick or anything like that, but that's what you call a back leg swing.
You could tell, Huey, that he was sitting on that fastball.
Yeah.
You don't go out and get Ubaldo's fastball that quickly and hit it that far unless you're sitting on that pitch.
Again, the Rockies score early, but now they're facing a deficit, 3-1. Last night they couldn't hold a 3-0, 4-1 lead with Aaron Cook initially on the mound. And now they're behind 3-1 with Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound. And what is even more or as troubling as that is that Ubaldo, assuming he gets Chris Young here in the next couple of pitches, which, you know, we'll see what happens, he's going to be at 70 pitches through 3 innings. The bullpen again is thin, which means this could be a day where Josh Fogg's got to pick up a couple of innings.
Yeah, if not a couple, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens.
A longer outing.
You know what you hope here, you get this guy out, you go back, you regroup, change some things in the dugout, and then Ubaldo can make the adjustments next time out.
He got away with a hanging breaking pitch there. Seth Smith will make the catch. 71 pitches and a 3-1 deficit through 3 innings. To save time and money. Tomorrow's an off day. The Giants are here over the weekend. The Rockies leading the Giants by a half game in the division and also in the wild card chase. And then it's off to New York to begin a 10-game road trip. They'll play 4 against the Mets at brand new Citi Field. Seth Smith steps in his second look at John Garland, and he's quickly ahead 1-0. Fly ball to left field for Smith back in the first. Rockies got a run last inning on a 2-out double by Gonzalez, base hit by Torrealba. But a 3-run home run by Miguel Montero has given Arizona a 3-1 lead as the Rockies hit the bottom of the third. Upstairs with Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. Joel Klatt has jumped on board for a little bit with us as we're talking college football. The CU-CSU game will be on FSN Rocky Mountain in September. A Sunday night affair.
I love that game on a Sunday night. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but putting that marquee time slot on that game just gives the whole country an opportunity to kind of that window to look in and see what football, especially college football, on the Front Range is all about. I think it's absolutely a great platform for those two universities.
It usually comes down to later on in the game too, fourth quarter.
3-2. That hit him on the foot, so Smith will go to first. I think that's where it caught him.
Looked like the back foot there.
Oh, wherever it is, you get the base runner. Hyundai Campbell tried to work it down and in. He just kept his foot there. He didn't move it. Right off the toes.
Trying not to wince. We all know it hurts, but he's trying not to wince right now.
First base right now going, oh, that hurt.
Oh, that hurt. Right off the big toe.
I can't show him though.
Clint Barmas coming up. This area has turned down a lot of quality high school football players, and thus college football players as well. You, of course, being one of the more notable ones. You have a camp, and I see it here. You didn't bring us the shirts. Those were in the mail.
I didn't bring you guys a shirt. I knew that you guys would be in the casual since it's a day game.
Right,
you know?
right.
So
we're not buying that. But the Joel Klatt Football School. I like the name.
Yeah, you know,
it makes some sense.
It's all about youth football, and I run basically a 3-day football camp for kids from 2nd to 8th grade. All skill levels, no contact. We bring out some good guest speakers, got a very good staff. We tried to build it so that basically what I wanted to do is allow kids to have as much fun as I had playing the game of football, because I had a blast. And if anyone can come close to that in terms of having fun, then they'll love the game. They'll get outdoors and stop playing video games, So we'll be doing that we got this weekend starting off. It's over in Arvada, kind of a hometown deal for me, and over kind of near Highway 93. Going to be going Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just not quite enough height on that line drive there, right?
Got in on the hands just a little
Plenty of availability still for kids?
A lot of availability still. It's pretty affordable. We got $125 plus. We donate 10% of that back to the league the player plays for, trying to encourage kids to come out and help their league raise a little bit of money, because as you all know, those little league and youth sports, they're always dying for fundraising and trying to put kids in the right type of gear and so on and so forth.
Here's Helt. Todd singled his first time, takes ball 1.
Pretty good hops from Stephen Drew to get up to get a little elevation.
To be involved in the camp. Can you go one day, 2, or is it all 3 days?
Any day. We're going to take walk-ups.
This ball hit high in the air to right field and deep. Did Helton get it? Top of the wall. There may have been interference. There was interference by Stephen Drew. There was interference by Stephen Drew. He got in the path of Seth Smith.
There he is.
He's coming home. Good job picking that up by the second base umpire, Paul Emmel.
Guys, if I'm not mistaken.
And that is double number 500 for Todd Helton. And it's up on the scoreboard, and the crowd standing and appreciating another milestone for number 17. Todd Helton is a very humble man. But having talked to him about this means a great deal. And not only will he have the baseball, he's going to have the bag also.
I got goosebumps just watching this right now.
You know that man really appreciates it.
Yep.
Don Baylor, who has a close relationship with Todd Helton. Jim Tracy. I agree with you. I have goosebumps also.
Being a kid who grew up here, all I've known as far as Major League Baseball is the Colorado Rockies. He's been the face of this organization for some time. What an unbelievable guy, first of all, but what an unbelievable player. I was just, I'm thrilled to just be here. I got the goosebumps along with you guys.
And fitting also that it comes with an RBI. 3-2 ball game. There's Mark Grace. He knows a thing or two about doubles. And he told us the other day he had 2,400 plus hits in his career. Swung on and missed by Brad Hopp. More than 500 doubles. And for Gracie, the 500 doubles a little bit more meaningful than the 2,000 hits because there are fewer players that have produced 500 doubles. He is the 50th in the grand history of this game.
Yeah, he'll just keep climbing up onto the list. Right now, he's number 48. But you know, by the end of the year, he's going to keep climbing on that next year, the year after.
You guys know he's just relishing this year. In the lead in the wild card, in contention. They're going to be in contention all second half. This is what this guy plays for. So happy that he gets another chance, a second chance to get to the postseason in a Rockies uniform.
On the swing, Brad Hopp is gone.
Slider that's just hung up there from Garland, and he was strong enough. Went out and got it and hooked it. And this just takes some strength to be able to get that barrel through the zone, and then that top hand comes off. We've seen that patented top hand come off a lot of times, way up on the wall. Take a look, and we'll be able to see the interference just 1 second after that Helton hit, where Stephen Drew interfered, and he threw up his hands like, hey, I didn't do anything.
The universal sign for I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You see it in football, basketball.
As soon as the offensive lineman hands, their hands go up like, no, I didn't hit. I didn't hold, or the defensive lineman, I didn't hit the quarterback late. What are you talking about?
1-0 on Tulowitzki, tying run at second. And this ball driven to deep left field. Romero going back, and he makes the catch. Well, off the bat, I thought that was surely over his head. In the inning, Todd Helton with his 500 career double makes it a 3-2 ball game. Helton, the fastest player in history to 500 doubles. historic moment, his 500th career double. It's now a 3-2 ball game as he hit it off the very top of the scoreboard. It was either going to be home run number 11 or double number 500. See if Ubaldo can get quickly to the dugout. He's got the bottom third of the lineup. Josh Whitesell, who had an opposite field double, takes a breaking ball for a strike. 73 pitches in the ball game here in the 4th inning. And Jimenez with a 1-1 count now on Whitesell.
Yeah, if you can try to get out of this, giving up 6 or 8 pitches, that's all. Get your offense back in the dugout. And they did the right thing last inning by answering what Arizona did in the top half of that inning. You got, to me, I'm a big momentum guy as far as if the other team scores, I think you've got to go out there and you've got to answer somehow. You don't have to jump right back out there and score as many as they did, but you got to answer it just a little bit at least.
Two and two. Some more notes on Todd Helton's 500 doubles. He has doubled 63 times against the Padres. Next on that list, Arizona. That was his 60th career double against Arizona. This is popped up. Tulowitzki will retreat. Smith coming on, and look out. And the ball is caught by Smith. And there's the high sky that Jeff Houston was talking about earlier. Maybe the most impressive part of the 500 doubles. Todd Helton reached 500 doubles in 1,749 games. The next fastest since 1954, Edgar Martinez, the great DH who's retired from the Seattle Mariners, a guy that you played with, Huey. Jeff Kent. But I mean, it's not close, not like within 10 games or 20 games. I mean, Helton reached it far faster than anybody.
Yeah. I mean, Edgar was a great hitter in his own right. Probably one of the best right-handed hitters I've seen or I've played with.
1-1 on Augie Ojeda. He's hit 394 against right-handed pitchers, 106 against lefties, 268 at home, 232 on the road. Pretty even split there. That's a fair ball. Todd's got it. 2 outs. He's the 16th left-handed hitter all time with 500 doubles. 34 right-handed. He's now 5th among active big leaguers in doubles, trailing Pudge Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, Ken Griffey Jr., and just a few behind your old teammate Garrett Anderson.
Yep. All the hits they throw out there, doubles, home runs, and probably more importantly, just team leaders. He doesn't wear the C on his jersey like some clubs have put captains in C's or whatever you want to call it. If that's a word, like Jason Varitek.
Captaincy.
Yeah. Like Jason Varitek in Boston. You don't need that with Todd Helton. It's just a given.
2-0's in there, 2-1 on John Garland. It's a 29th double of the year for Helton, which puts him by himself in second place in the National League behind Miguel Tejada. So again, it's not coming with, you know, the 40-plus-year-old hanging on. He's thrown out, you know, half a dozen doubles.
Just DHing.
Right, and he's walking up the 18th fairway. It's not the case at all. I mean, Helton is producing doubles at an alarming rate again. 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez. He needed that. Rockies trailing 3-2, middle of 4th. He's trail 3-2. Who are the three active players with a career average of at least 300 and 500 or more career doubles? Todd Helton an inning ago with his 500th double, driving in a run naturally. Seth Smith came around to make it 3-2. John Garland will face Ian Stewart to begin the fourth inning. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Alana Rizzo. Our thanks again to Joel Klatz. Good to see Joel stopping by. He'll do a lot of football work out of the Big 12 this fall. He's a guy that loves the game. He played for his dad at Pomona growing up, and he has a great football school. You know it's going to be done right. And for more information on that, it's the joelklattfootballschool.com. It's pretty simple, joelklattfootballschool.com, and it's for 2nd to 8th graders, and it's coming up this weekend, and there's still space.
I like the way they give money back to that individual program. And in this tight economy, that's just something that needs to be done.
On a broken bat roller, Ojeda's going to go to the pitcher covering Garland. 4-1 is how you score that one out.
And that was good communication between Augie Ojeda and the first baseman, Josh Whitesell. Because Whitesell was going to field that ball, and he's left-handed. He was going to have to spin all the way around to make the throw to first base and hit the pitcher. Instead, Augie calls him off at the last second. Whitesell goes after. Right now, Augie says, I got it, let it go. And then it's just an easy 4-1 put out at first.
Carlos Gonzalez with the fly ball double and a run scored in the second on a Torrealba base hit. That's in there for a strike. Gonzalez 6 for 9 now in his career against John Garland. 3 runs, 4 hits for Arizona, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. So again, it's joelklattfootballschool.com. It's this weekend at 10% of your tuition, if you will. It's very reasonably priced. Goes back to your football program, your youth football program. This ball is pulled foul.
Carlos back in that second inning with that bloop double, hustle double. Outfielders still playing pretty deep, especially right side.
Infield really playing him the pull on the right side. Strike 3. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Yorvik Torrealba. 4th strikeout for John Garland. Let's answer the Affleck trivia question. Who are the 3 active players with a career average of at least 300 and 500 or more career doubles? Well, Helton's obviously one of them, a 328 career average entering the year. Manny Ramirez at 315, and Pudge Rodriguez, a future first ballot Hall of Famer.
Pudge #1 now on the list, all-time games caught by a catcher.
For a catcher to hit 300.
Yeah.
With all the wear and tear, not to mention the doubles, because you got pretty good legs. There's going to be a series of leg doubles. There's going to be times you turn a single into a double. That's very impressive to me.
Well, it is, and Pudge still playing at a very high level at 37-38 for the Astros.
2-1. And I have the utmost admiration and respect for Mike Piazza, who also should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Maybe the greatest slugger ever to play behind the plate, but not in the defensive classification, especially throwing naturally that Pudge Rodriguez resides. Mike could call a game, Mike could block pitches. He just couldn't throw.
But you overlooked it because of what he could do offensively. I mean, you just take the good with the bad. That's what you had with Mike Piazza, but he could hit.
This is a soft fly ball to right field. Upton will have it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Garland. Arizona leading 3-2 as we move to the 5th inning. Top of the order for the Diamondbacks.
Spike your curveball, spike your split. The slider, you saw the bad swing he took on the slider that you threw into him. I think you can do that back foot too.
That was how Bob Apodaca wanted Ubaldo to work to Josh Whitesell after he had doubled against him the first time. So the second time he faced him, he did get him on a slider. To be honest, he probably didn't get it quite to the back foot like he wanted to, but he got a pop out.
It was all about the result. Here's the pitch you were talking about, Drew. He wanted to go with the slider down and in. You could tell where Jorvich set up. It just hung up there a little bit. But he's right. You can elevate with Whitesell or go down and won't stand a chance.
This is a big first batter, Stephen Drew. Not only because he's a leadoff guy and he's a very accomplished hitter, but Drew is 7 for 11 in the series. He scored 4 runs. He has a home run. He's driven in 4. He's 1 for 2 in this afternoon's game. Pitch count at 87 for Ubaldo.
It's hard to believe that Stephen Drew coming into this series was in a slump because he looks very comfortable at the plate right now. He's raised his batting average 15 points so far in the 3 games. Yeah, I know what he did last night with 4 hits. But just taking quality hacks up at the plate.
He's raised his average 13 points in the last couple of days. It's just under 270. Actually, with the hit in his last at bat, he is right at 270, so he's raised it 15 points. 270 sounds a whole lot better than 255.
Well, also when you're looking up at the scoreboard, because every guy, when he goes to the plate, they'll peek, even if they're struggling, they'll peek out of the corner of their eye going, oh boy, where's it at? If you're going well, you're like, yeah, where's it at?
And this ball in the air to left center field. Smith and Gonzalez. And Smith makes the catch. 1 out. Time to check in again with Alana Rizzo with this afternoon's great Colorado Payback sideline report. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. I want to talk a little bit more about Carlos Gonzalez getting the start in right field today to give Dexter Fowler a day off. And to be fair to Carlos, he has some history versus John Garland. I talked to him earlier about the competition that is in the outfield. And he said, you know what, I came here knowing there was going to be a great deal of competition because we have a lot of outfielders, and frankly, we're all very good. He said, but I don't consider it competing against one another. I consider the Colorado Rockies competing against whatever team we're going to play with. So, you know, he certainly wants to have more playing time. Who doesn't at this level? I talked to Jim Tracy about him earlier today also, and he said, you know what? He has done every single thing he could do to prove himself at the minor league level. Now we need to see how well he can do when we continue to give him the opportunities in the big leagues, guys.
It's a fine line. Right now, Seth Smith deserves to be out there the way he's swinging the bat. The Rockies have a lot of good players. And if you're in a position where he's not playing at all, as Jim Tracy said also, then maybe you have to revisit AAA. But if you're able to get him in there and you can get him in spots where he's contributing, that's how a lot of guys break in. Swung on and missed. 2-2 on Romero.
Well, it is. And the other thing, too, with Carlos, if his defense wasn't above average, then there might be a chance that he'd be back down at AAA. But because he has the ability to play all 3 outfield positions, has the strong arm, he can do so many different things. You look at what Jim Tracy is able to do with him. Plus, he had 339 down there. I mean, what more does he have to do in AAA?
On the ground, a second. Vargas throws out Romero. That'll bring up Justin Upton. 3-2 ball game. He's trying to bounce back. Try to take 2 or 3 from Arizona. They lost last night 6-5. Time for our Xcel Energy fun fact. Diamondbacks manager A.J. Hinch won a bronze medal as a member of Team USA in the '96 Olympic Games. Among his teammates, a player he now manages, Augie Ojeda. Hey, it's a good idea to run your dishwasher when it's full. This maximizes energy use. Learn more energy tips at responsiblebynature.com.
Think that's awkward at all? Played with a guy and then you end up managing him at the big league level?
I don't think 13 years later. I wouldn't think so, would you?
Be a little different, but not. I mean, not dramatically different.
I mean, if it was the next season or 2 years later, you may go, wait a second, we're just locker mates now. And now I'm calling you Skip. But 13 years later, here's the 1-1, and it's pounded into the dirt. Tulowitzki. Good job by Jimenez. He shortened up the last couple of innings. Still at 97 pitches through 5 innings. Rockies trailing by a run. FSN is brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Now with Hyundai Assurance, buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex and printing online at dexknows.com. And by Bird Chevrolet, where the 09 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 is only $25,995. 2-0. On Ubaldo Jimenez, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, yeah, he has to lead off because of the way the bullpen's a little bit short. 97 pitches in. Go ahead and send him up to the plate.
Now everybody stand in unison and give Ubaldo the take sign here.
We can't yell it from here, but you know Rich Dow, he just held up the one finger. And for me, you take 2 pitches. Go ahead and get to 3-2.
A borderline strike, 3-1. See if Richie indicates.
Yep, he did.
Yep, one more.
Yeah, one more. Just go ahead and take it.
Garland's pitch count far more economical this afternoon. He's been very good. 63 pitches. Single run in the 2nd, single run in the 3rd. This is where Jim Tracy and any manager starts game planning for the latter half of the ball game. The Rockies trailed by a run, bullpen a little thin. He's got a starting pitcher. He's at 97 pitches. You got to figure he hopes to get him through 6 and then flip it over. Now, a couple of things. Morales is down.
Yep.
Corpus is down. Spire, you just brought up, you'd like to get him an inning for a couple of reasons. You may need to get him an inning, but he hasn't pitched in a few days.
Right, and then the other thing is you got Matt Daly might have to go out there and throw a couple innings if something were to happen. The good thing is, though, tomorrow's an off day.
Inside, ball 4. So Jimenez works the count, and the tying run is aboard. The first walk issued by Garland. He did hit a batter. This guy, Seth Smith, he hit him on the foot with a breaking ball.
Seth Smith's taken a look in a long time down at Rich Dower. Mark Reynolds playing in even with the bag. And I wouldn't be surprised if Seth maybe tried to lay down a bunt for a base hit on his own. At least move the runner up to second base.
He's swinging, and it's a double play ball.
Yep. And that's why I said I look for him to try to bunt, because that's the worst possible thing that could happen. And especially first pitch. Baldo just made Garland work hard, and then Garland goes with that sinker down and away. You get overly aggressive, easy two-hopper to the second baseman, 4-6-3, 2 outs.
Rocky's stuck on 4 hits. You know, last night they swung the bats well the first 4 innings, and then only 1 hit after that. That was the pinch triple by Ryan Spilborghs to drive in a run in the 8th inning to make it 6-5 off John Roush. And the day before, even when the Rockies scored 10, the 10 runs came in the first 5 innings.
Yeah.
They didn't do much in the later innings that particular night either.
Yeah, kind of shut down offensively, and they did it last night, scored early, and then stopped after that.
Clint Barmas is 0 for 2. Ground ball to third and a soft liner gloved by Stephen Drew. That's going to go fair with the English on it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Garland. And again, he did it with just a handful of pitches. 3-2 Arizona. Got Jim Tracy. Trace, this is where the gears really start moving. The latter third or so of the baseball game, you start mapping things out. You have a pitcher out there that's throwing a lot of bullets already.
He really has, Drew. You know, he's done, in my opinion, he's done a good job to be this far, as you just mentioned, you know, with the way he has been sporadic with his command. You know, his fastball is spraying it some, so that when he does throw his off speed and wants to come back to the fastball, can't get it over for a strike consistently enough.
And Jim, has a pretty exciting moment back in the 3rd inning when Todd Helton got his 500 double, huh?
No question, Jeff. You know, one of the greatest players in our game, in the history of the game, and when you think about the fact that there's about 49 other guys that have done that, and there's a lot of us that have tried to play this game, that's quite a number of people you're talking about to do and accomplish a feat like that.
Hey, Trace, thanks as always. Get back to running your club.
Thanks, you guys.
Mark Reynolds at the plate with a 1-1 count. Baldo Jimenez right at 100 pitches. And that's a good changeup.
When he started inside, that split finger.
That's split.
Yeah. Has the same action as that circle.
Deep short. High throw. Safe. Pulled Helton off the bag a little bit. And again, Reynolds runs well.
Well, and
so an infield hit for Mark Reynolds.
And also the way his swing took him, because he was off balance out of that front foot. So as soon as he swing, his momentum's going towards first base, and Tulo's momentum's going towards third base. I mean, it would have been a close play anyway, even if Todd's able to stay on the bag. You see the lunge at the last second from Reynolds.
And the guy who's the difference in the game today, as he was last night, Miguel Montero. 2-run home run last night to basically win the game for Arizona, and he has a 3-run home run in this afternoon's contest. Nine home runs for Montero and a little over 200 at bats. Here's a guy, if he's playing regularly. There goes Reynolds, and the throw to second is high. And that's 17 stolen bases for Mark Reynolds.
Let's go back to those swings of Montero just for a second. The one on the left is the home run he hit with the slider from Rincon last night. Dropped that back elbow down. This one was not quite as far away from him, but the same high finish and the leg drive with that back leg and that L shape that you'll get to get those hips through.
Ball and a strike on Miguel. And the Rockies now have folks moving up the stairs in their bullpen.
More than likely to be Ryan Spire, who gets up and tosses. You mentioned, Drew, he's not been in the ball game. Get him in.
This ball is hit well again, right center field. Gonzalez tracks it down. Reynolds tags, and he'll move to third with one out.
And now you go back to that stolen base of Reynolds just a moment ago.
Big.
Yeah, it's big, because now the Rockies, they're going to have to play the infield in now, or at least halfway. You can't just concede the run now. It's in the 6th inning. Jim Tracy's studying that lineup card, as you mentioned. How are we going to try to play this? And it is indeed Ryan Spire who is up and throwing out in the bullpen. And the Rockies did have to play the infield in at that halfway depth, and it helps when you've got strong arms up the middle and Clint Barmas and Troy Tulowitzki. You don't have to play it even with the grass.
Chris Young at the plate, and the pitch is high. Young, a guy that is not immune to striking out. He's 0 for 2 with the strikeout in this ball game.
It's kind of a catch-22 too, because you look at Chris Young, where you can get him out is the ball up, but those are also the ones that are easiest to hit in the air for a sac fly.
On the corner, 1-1. 107 pitches in for Ubaldo. He's seen him up close to 130. We're not going to see that today. He is working in the lower portion of the lineup. Windshield chipped or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, and online at safelite.com. You know, the fastball command, Huey, if you go back to the first couple of innings, was really good. Do you remember? There's a swing and a miss. Do you remember at one point we remarked, 2/3 of his first 30 pitches were in the strike zone?
Yeah, and the biggest one was the strikeout looking at Mark Reynolds back in that first inning, where he was able to jot the outside part of the plate with a little run on it. And it was very good. And then it just got out of whack. We'll go back to what happened in the second inning. Walking Augie Ojeda and then the pitcher, and then it kind of just flipped their lineup over.
Swung on, and a foul tip held by Torrealba. Big strikeout of Young. And now there are 2 outs for Josh Whitesell.
It takes soft hands to be able to catch a foul tip, and sometimes just a little bit of luck. It wasn't nicked that much, so it didn't change direction, didn't change plane of where Yorvin was trying to go with his glove. So it settled right into the webbing of that big catcher's mitt. Hey, Wells Fargo customers, enjoy Colorado Rockies baseball in style with a special Wells Fargo offer, 2-for-1 club level seats. Visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for all the details. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC, official bank of the Colorado Rockies.
Whitesell a double and a pop fly to shallow left. And that pitch misses. This is a big at bat in this ball game. You have a runner at third with 2 outs and Mark Reynolds. Arizona clinging to a 1-run lead. Whitesell's been back and forth between AAA Reno and the big club this year. Drop that one in. It's 1-1. Whitesell, a year ago, the Diamondbacks minor league player of the year. He hit .328, 26 home runs, 110 RBIs in AAA. He has ability. Here's the 1-1 up high.
One of those guys that they got to try to find out if he has the ability to be that everyday first baseman at the big league level.
You know, and they made a trade recently, Tony Pena for Brandon Allen, a young first baseman, and so Whitesell probably feeling a little bit of the heat. Brandon Allen's, you know, in the minor leagues right now. But Whitesell, like Gonzalez, he was hitting .313 this year at Reno. He's done all he can in the minor leagues.
That's right. Now you see if he can play at the big league level.
That's pulled foul.
Or if not, could he be a guy that comes off the bench? What's going to be his role?
Tonight's high-speed pitch is brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet. John Garland's hit 95. Ubaldo, on a number of occasions, has hit 98.
Well, we talked about, or Bob Apodaca talked earlier in the ball game with the mic'd up. How do you attack him? Do you attack him with the fastball up, slider? I'd go inside and up.
That's what they did, and it just missed. I'll tell you what, it locked up Whitesell.
Yeah, it did.
He can kick dirt around the batter's box like I saw it the whole way. He was holding his breath.
No, he didn't see it the whole way. He was just hoping that the umpire would call it a ball. When he raised those arms, it wasn't that close to being inside. He just couldn't get the barrel of the bat to it. One more look from our overhead camera, just be able to tell. It was just off the plate. But we've also seen that called a strike in the ball game already today by DJ Rayburn.
This will be pitch number 116. 3-2 on Whitesell. Ubaldo, since giving up the 3-run home run to Miguel Montero with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, has allowed 1 base runner, and that's Reynolds at 3rd on the infield hit. He had retired 7 in a row before the infield hit, and he's got the next 2 guys. He needs to get Whitesell here in a 3-2 ball game. Arizona leading. Got him and a hook. So Ubaldo Jimenez with a big strikeout at Josh Whitesell to keep it a 1-run ball game. 3-2, middle of 6. Bottom of the 6th inning. The Rockies will have 3, 4, and 5 in their lineup. This date in history brought to you by Dex. Dex knows. We go back to July 22nd, 12 years ago. In Montreal, Vinny Castilla has 5 hits, including 2 home runs, as the Rockies outslug the Expos 11-9. Castilla's 2-run shot off Dave Veers, who would later pitch for the Rockies, with 2 outs in the 12th inning. Gives Colorado its 3rd win in 19 games as they were going through a very difficult period. Ubaldo Jimenez will be done. 116 pitches. He has kept his club in it. And after that 3-run home run, he allows 1 base runner over the next 3+ innings. Todd Helton, his 500th double in his last at bat. He's 2 for 2. He has an RBI, his 59th of the year. John Garland sitting on just 71 pitches. He's done a very good job. He's gotten a lot of ground balls, which is his MO when he's in a good place. And he's in the midst of his 5th straight quality start, though he doesn't have a lot of wins to show for it. 5-9 record coming in. And this ball is a fly ball to right center field. Chris Young has it. It'll bring up Brad Hopp. And here's the historic double. Nearly got out of the ballpark. Helton wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure when that ball was hit either, what was going to happen. It looked like it had enough distance to get out.
Brad hasn't picked up the ball real well off John Garland today.
No, he hasn't. There are a couple of strikeouts, but they've been able to work both sides of the plate to Brad, and then also throw the slower, slurvy breaking pitch up there like that last one. There's 75 pitches now for John Garland, 51 of them for strikes.
Brad in a ditch again, 0-2. And this is a broken bat, fly ball to left that Alex Romero will grab. 2 outs. This is going to sound familiar. Yesterday I said, the Rockies haven't had a hit since the 4th inning as it worked late in the game. Here in the 6th inning, their last hit was Helton's double we just showed you, with 1 out in the 3rd inning.
And he goes on what happened to that first night. They didn't get a base hit until after the 5th inning, the first night.
Last night only 1 hit after the 4th inning. Some of this you have to tip your hat to Arizona. Coming in, they had the lowest ERA in baseball on the road.
Well, and it goes back to the point you were making a few moments ago about Garland. In the last 4 starts, 1 and 2, but his ERA 2.42. A lot of times it has not been their pitching that's gotten them into trouble. It's been the offense, but the offense woke up here at Coors Field.
Well, they have the worst batting average on the road also in baseball. 227 entering play today. It's not like they've crushed the ball this afternoon. They have 5 hits. But they have the big hit, the 3-run home run from Miguel Montero against a guy who seldom gives up home runs. 3-0 now on Tulowitzki. That was just the 6th home run allowed by Ubaldo. By innings pitched, he's the 4th toughest guy in the major leagues to hit a home run against this year. The extreme ground ball pitcher of the Cardinals, Joel Pinheiro, is #1 on the list. That's a strike. Zach Greinke, who's been phenomenal for the Royals, sure. Tim Lincecum, figures. Reigning Cy Young winner, and he may win another one this year. His 3rd, and then Ubaldo. And also is a strike, 3-2 on Tulowitzki. Troy's last time up hit a laser to deep left that I thought was going to tie the game. Romero got back and on the edge of the track made the catch. I thought it was going to get over his head.
I did too. I thought he had enough oomph on it.
That was close. Troy will go to first with 2 outs, and that will allow Ian Stewart to take another look at John Garland. He has struck out and hit a slow roller to the right side. The
way they want to try to attack Ian, especially with Garland. To me, Garland's been able to command both sides of the plate. Typically what happens, because he's so far over on the first base side, they don't have trouble pitching the ball away to a lefty, but he's been able to work it over there in this ball game.
One on Stewart. That'd be a lovely time for Ian to run into one. Ryan Spire continues to work in the Rockies' pen. Looks like he will be next. There goes Tulowitzki, high and deep and foul. By a lot, but it was exciting initially.
That was a straight steal from Troy, too. Because even when that ball was hit, he slid head first into second base. With a couple outs, even if you're stealing, with 2 outs especially, because if that ball's hitting the gap, you've got to know where that ball is to possibly go to third base.
Now Spire has taken a seat and Matt Daly's up.
Well, it might depend also on how this inning plays out. If the Rockies go ahead, if Matt Daly can get ready in time, he might be the guy to go out there. If they stay behind and still trail 3-2, then it would be Ryan Spire, because he just got up. A 1-2 count now. Troy gets another good jump like he had just a moment ago. Go ahead and take off.
Set up away.
He didn't get the jump. Kind of gave a little hop like he was going to go. Just didn't get the timing down.
I don't know if I still like that play though.
Well,
here.
now I don't like it because you're at a 2-2 count. I don't want the hitter to expand his zone too much to feel like he's got to try to somehow protect. Go ahead and sit, wait, see what happens. If it gets to 3-2, you're going to get the jump anyway.
I just don't. You know what? Stewart swung the bat very well the last week. He's a guy that can give you a lead, obviously, with one swing. He's a guy who can hit the ball in the gap, and you're going to score anyhow, especially with 2 outs from first. You get thrown out.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't go. I'd put the stop sign on.
Three and two.
But now you're back to the point I was just making a second ago. Now you got 3-2 with the left-handed hitter up. You'll also have that first baseman play right behind him to give him a little bit more range, so you're going to get a big enough jump anyway. And then the other thing, too, is the infielders have to throw it all the way across the diamond. They can't go to the short route, the short base.
Three and two with 2 outs. Tulowitzki on the move with the pitch. And this ball is in the air to left field. Playable for Romero. Tulowitzki left the board. 6 chapters closed on a Wednesday afternoon at Coors Field. 3-2 Arizona. Up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. So it'll be Matt Daly taking over in the 7th inning. The Rockies trailing 3-2. 5 hits for Arizona, 4 for the Rockies. Folks, if you're surfing the internet later on this afternoon or this evening, I would implore you to visit the Rockies website and read a marvelous piece and really a gut-wrenching piece in many respects by Mandy Coolbaugh, the wife of the late Mike Coolbaugh, who 2 years ago today passed away on the baseball diamond, as he was the first base coach for the Tulsa Drillers. And most of you know the story, hit by a line drive. Just hit him in the wrong place of the neck. Mike left 3 children behind. And Mandy Coolbaugh wrote just a marvelous piece today about what a wonderful person her late husband was, and it is, I think, will inspire all of us. So I know it's a departure for a moment from the game, but lest we never forget Mike Coolbaugh and know that Mandy is out there and doing well with 3 youngsters, 2 boys, and their baby girl that Mike never got to see. And she wrote just a wonderful piece. So go see it on ColoradoRockies.com. Augie Ojeda with a 2-strike count, 1 and 2. You read it earlier as well.
Yeah, I did. I read it about 11:30 this morning, and it kind of choked me up a little bit because we all understand, how precious life is. But it was a heartwarming story in one regard, though, and there's a book written about him that you need to go out and read and pick up too.
Outside, 2 and 2. The book is called Heart of the Game, written by Scott Price, and it honors Mike Coolbaugh. It also honors Tino Sanchez, who's had a very difficult time. Tino was at the plate and hit the line drive. He's had a very difficult time dealing with Mike Coolbaugh's death. And again, the name of that book by Scott Price, Heart, H-E-A-R-T, naturally, of the Game. Pulled foul. Augie Ojeda, John Garland on deck, and then Stephen Drew. We've been locked in at 3-2 since the bottom of the 3rd inning. Arizona's had their way with the Rockies. Last year they went 15-3. This year they're 6-5, despite the Rockies having a much better record. And they're 10-4 in their last 14 ball games at Coors Field. And overall, you go back to '98, Huey, they're a game over 500 at Coors Field and way over 500 if you include what they've done at Chase Field.
Yeah, and on a post-game interview last night, Montero talked about that. You see the strikeout from Matt Daly climbing the ladder to get Ojeda. Stayed down, and then went up and chased him, climbed the ladder, got him to strike out. A little sinking action on that fastball, even though it was up. Ojeda couldn't catch up to it. But to get back to my point just a second ago, Montero talked about it in his post-game interview about how there's that familiarity because you play each other so much also during spring training. Just right down the road, so you don't feel like it's a foreign team or anything like that. Plus, you play them so many times inside the division.
Well, and it's not going to change because in 2011 they're going to share a complex.
Right. Might get even a little bit more close.
0-2 on Garland. Here's the last 14 at Coors Field between the Rockies and Diamondbacks. And the runs per game, obviously heavily in favor of Arizona. They're +2 runs. It's not the starters' ERA.
Nope.
It's the pen.
Right there.
The pen has been outstanding for Arizona. And the Rockies' pen has struggled against the Diamondbacks. Strike 3. So Daly, 2 punch outs, and now Stephen Drew in the 7th. Today's injury report is brought to you by the Exempla Lutheran Medical Center. Remember Eric Burns. We haven't talked about Burnsy this series. Broke his left hand a couple of weeks ago. He's missed 22 ball games. Coming off a year in which 2 hamstring injuries kept him out most of 08, hitting just .216 this year. It has been a very difficult 2 years after a brilliant 07 for Burns.
Yeah, and then he signed that 3-year deal too. 3 years, $30 million or something like that, $33 million, and they just haven't seen that return on the investment. Another guy that the Diamondbacks would like to try to unload, but they're just not going to be able to with his contract.
And a ground ball to help. He'll flip to Daly. Nice job by Matt Daly. He gets the Rockies quickly to the bat rack again. 3-2 Arizona. Stretch time at Coors Field. Freeze cam. Todd Helton in the 3rd inning. Thought he may have hit it out. What he hit was his 500th career double that drove in a run. The 50th player ever with 500 doubles. Special moment again for Todd. Earlier this year in Atlanta, Georgia, he produced his 2000th career hit. You play a long time, and you have that swing and that ability, you start passing milestones on a semi-regular basis. That was the Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam. Rockies will have Gonzalez, Torrealba in the pitcher's spot. That's why you saw Atkins with a bat. Rockies on the left side have 2 options. Omar Quintanilla, he's more of a defensive replacement in the infield. Dexter Fowler is an option. Dexter's got a helmet on. On the right side, you have Atkins, who you saw, Ryan Spilborghs, who had the pinch triple last night, and of course your backup catcher today, Chris Iannetta. Not a bad idea. Just it went foul, so it's a 2-strike count on Carlos Gonzalez.
And it really depends on how the first 2 hitters play out. If they get on and you're looking for somebody to try to lay down a bunt, then you might throw somebody like that up there, or maybe a pitcher to get that bunt down. If not, if nobody's on, that's when you'll go to Garrett Atkins and hopefully one swing of the bat. You've tied the ball game up, because you look at the D-backs bullpen. Chad Qualls through.
This ball is a base hit, right center field. Gonzalez running hard, little bobble, going for 2, safe at second. Carlos Gonzalez with a lead off. We'll see if it's a double or not, but he's in scoring position.
I think it's going to be a double because of the way he ran so hard out of the box. Talk about going down and having to get a breaking pitch. That head takes his barrel of the bat down, and then the finish in the eyes. But that ball had some topspin on it, and he put the pressure on Justin Upton because he never slowed down. He hit the bag with that inside corner, and that's why Upton bobbled it to allow Carlos to get the double.
Now you'll get a bunt, and a very good bunt by Torrealba. Reynolds with good communication with John Garland. If they don't communicate you, and you've been in that situation, you have first and third.
Yeah, and especially the way Garland was running over towards the line, it's an easier play for the third baseman to come in there and make the play, and that's what Mark Reynolds did. I mean, Mark Reynolds just starts charging right as he sees the bunt. He calls off Garland. Garland goes over to third. But that is good communication, because if not, all of a sudden you have the collision there, and then they don't get the throw off, and as you mentioned, you go to first and third. And it is going to be Garrett Atkins as a pinch hitter now. Garrett 3 for 8, with 2 RBIs. Pinch hitting this year against Garland in his career, 0 for 3.
The infield comes in, playing about 3 strides off the grass.
Well, you got good speed at third base, though.
Inside on Garrett, though he is not playing much these days. I know from a conversation I had with him 2 days ago, he's very comfortable at the plate for, again, not being out there every day. He feels like he's in a much, much better place than when he was struggling mightily about 6 weeks ago. That's inside 2-0. That's evidence of it right there.
Right there, because how many times early on in this season would we see him fire at that ball and possibly just hit a little weak pop-up or an easy ground ball? He just raised those hands up like I saw it the whole way.
Really,
very comfortable.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago he had a big pinch hit 2-run double to beat the Atlanta Braves. On the inside corner, 2-1.
But that's okay. You're not looking for that on a 2-0 count. The backup slider, the one that's supposed to break away from you, but it doesn't.
Scott Schoenweiss getting loose for Helton and Hop in the Arizona bullpen. Bottom of 7, 3-2. Arizona runner at third, 1 out. 3-1. Seth Smith, change his nickname from Mr. Late Night to Mr. Late Afternoon for this ball game, is on deck. There's Schoenweiss. Atkins hard on the ground, ball for Reynolds. They'll get it out at first. Gonzalez scores to tie up the game. So Atkins hit a bullet at third. Reynolds couldn't field it. His partner Drew did. 5-6-3 on the put out, an RBI for Atkins, and it's a whole new day.
Well, it is, because that ball was hit hard, and that goes back to putting the pressure on the defense. A slider going up there, Garrett turns on it, and he smokes this ball right on the barrel of the bat. This ball was hit hard. You think about it, you're only 90 feet away, and as soon as that ball was hit, Carlos Gonzalez is going.
Seth Smith out in front. It's 0-1.
That's 2 instances in this inning where we've seen Carlos Gonzalez put pressure on the defense. First one was that double into right center field, and then that play right there to Mark Reynolds.
And think about Gonzalez, a guy that struggled with the bat since being called up from AAA. His defense has been outstanding. Carlos, a couple of doubles today. He has scored 2 runs, 2 of the Rockies' 3 runs. And that double, Huey, came a guy who can't have a great deal of confidence right now.
No.
Behind in the count against the guy who's been pretty dominant today.
Exactly, but he stayed with his game plan of trying to hit the ball up the middle. He got out in front of it a little bit, but his approach has been a lot better. Even when he was behind 0-2, 1-2, it wasn't the wild swings that we saw a couple weeks ago.
And this this will buoy the confidence, obviously.
Won't it, though? Yeah, you just feel a lot better about when you're standing in that box.
Seth Smith didn't get that pitch. In the inning, the Rockies get the equalizer. Gonzalez got it going with a lead double. 3-3 as we go to the 8th. On FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. Garrett Atkins, an RBI ground out, and the Rockies are now even with Arizona 3-3. Those guys peek over, they can eavesdrop on the ball game. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800-COMCAST. Juan Rincon out there in the 8th inning in relief of Matt Daly. He was pinch hit for after a 1-2-3 7th inning, which he struck out 2. Baldo Jimenez off the hook. Alex Romero, Justin Upton, and Mark Reynolds. And the first pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, Juan came in last night in the 7th inning, got out of that big bases loaded jam with the strikeout of Justin Upton.
The next inning, though,
yeah, wasn't quite as good.
Yeah, Miguel Montero hit a slider that was up in the zone a little bit. This ball is hit pretty well to right field, but playable for Brad Hop. It's important to get that first man. Rincon does it there, and now Upton.
Hey, draft your own lineup. 15-game mini plans are now available. You choose the 15 games you want to attend and get the August 10th game against the Cubs free. Many plans include postseason ticket rights. Call 303-ROCKIES or go online to ColoradoRockies.com to draft your own lineup today.
And Upton swings at the first pitch. Towering pop-up. Easy play for Barmes. Mark Reynolds coming up. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Aaron Cook, starting pitcher yesterday. It was not one thing, it's a team loss, and all losses stink. And we were talking to Jim Tracy early this morning in his office, and he said, you know, I love what Cookie said. He said, listen, it's a tough loss, but it's a team loss, and we move on.
Well, because you can point a finger to anybody or any aspect, not anybody, but any aspect of the ball game last night. And somebody, whether it was the offense after the 4th inning, whether it was the bullpen late in the ball game, whatever it was, everybody was involved with that, and it was a team loss. And then you just wear it as a team.
1-0 on Mark Reynolds. The Rockies pitching staff now, Huey has retired 15 of 16. And watch Torrealba. He keeps setting up, and he will, I'm sure, away. Stay out of the power of Reynolds. He'll make a mistake with the slider. That was up.
It goes back to the old adage that, especially late in the ball game from the 7th inning on, if they're going to beat you, where are they going to beat me? Trying to hit it out the opposite field. I'm not going to give them anything inside where they can pull it and maybe not hit it as well. If they hit it out the other way, they earn it.
And he got a pop up and it's playable. Help in foul ground. He sees it, he makes the catch. Well done by Wandering Cone through a very difficult portion of the Arizona lineup. Clint Barmes to lead it off in the bottom of the 8th. Eighth inning, Barmes, Helton, and Hop. And on the hill now, Scott Schoenweis. Let's check in again quickly with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
Thanks very much, Drew. The Rockies are off tomorrow, but Rockies All Access is still on. I want to talk about what's going on this week. Everybody's making an appearance. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Tracy Ringlesey. We're looking at the second half of the season, and we break down the Giants and the Dodgers, what the Rockies need to do to remain in contention, and we do it all at Elitch Gardens, and that's how I threw out my back. All right, that's Rockies All Access tomorrow at 7 and 10 o'clock, guys.
How's it feeling?
It is horrible. I can hardly move, to be honest. That twister got me big time.
She's been complaining about that for 3 days now.
2 days. 2 days.
You get a free ride at Elitch's, and next thing you know, you complain.
It's because when you're 33 years old, you should not ride a wooden roller coaster.
Will you stop it?
Yeah.
You're 33, which means you're considerably younger than the two gentlemen you're talking to.
I'm out of shape. That's probably why I can't handle a roller coaster.
All right. First pitch in there, a strike to Clint Barmes. Barmes 0 for 3. You know what a nice game plan is? Carve out a run here and hand the baseball to the guy getting loose in the bullpen in the 9th inning, Houston Street.
Yeah, an excellent way to end this day.
How about the work of Wandering Cone?
Yeah. But that's where you have to have a very short memory if you're a reliever. Because last night he comes in, as I mentioned, in the 7th inning, gets out of it, gives up a couple runs, takes a loss in last night's ball game, but he comes out today and makes 3 quality pitches, gets 3 easy outs.
And 2 of the 3 guys he faced that inning,
yeah.
He knows you make one mistake, they can hit it 450.
That's right.
0-2 on Barmes, and Barmes pops it up right around the pitcher's mouth. One out. Todd Helton coming up. If your windshield has any kind of damage, please call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or online at safelight.com. Todd, a single in the first. His 500th career double, an RBI, one at that in the 3rd, and then a fly ball to center field in the 6th inning. Helton on the top 7 hitters in the National League at .322.
Time in his career against Schoenweis, 2 for 9, and all Schoenweis has these days is fastball slider. And that's it. Back when he was a starter, he'd throw the change-up in there, but now he's moved just to a setup guy. And especially against lefties, likes to throw that sweeping slider. That one right there, 81 miles an hour.
Like he held up.
Yep.
We'll check it out at third with Gary Darling. He agrees. 2 balls and a strike on Todd. Outfield playing straight up with Todd. Really, the infield pretty much straight up also.
Well, they moved it a little bit differently because of Schoenweiss, left on left.
Helton hits it high in the air, right center field. Did he get it? You bet! Todd Helton, go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 8th inning, 4-3 Colorado. What a day for number 17.
What a way to cap off the day. You have the double and now the fastball. He knows it. As soon as he hit it, he carries the bat with him about 3/4 of the way down to first base before he flips it. One more look at Schoenweiss trying to throw that fastball by him. Mistake.
Brad Hawk hard on the ground to Augie Ojeda. 2 outs. So on the day that Todd Helton produces his 500th double, he also produces his 321st home run. He's 50th all-time in doubles, 97th all-time in home runs. And more importantly to Todd, I know right now, is that it has given his team a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th. Tulowitzki at the plate.
Didn't he just know Helton was going to do something good today because he went 0 for 5 last night? Just his personality, the drive that he has. You just knew it.
He is, and you don't get tired of saying this, he is such a remarkable player.
That he is. I get the joy of watching him every single day.
I was kidding him earlier today. I said, can you get this 500 double over already so we can stop talking about it? On the edge, 1 and 2. 3 hits, 4 trips for Helton, 2 RBIs, none bigger than the solo home run he just hit a few moments ago. Now Houston Street is throwing with greater purpose in the Rockies bullpen. A well-rested Houston Street.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, we talked about Daly and Rendon, but let's not forget about Ubaldo. He had scuffled in the first 3 innings and then really rebounded and had a pretty clean 4th, 5th, and 6th, other than giving up just 1 base hit to get to those guys.
You know what he was? He was his own middle relief.
Yes.
Here's the 2-2, swung on and missed. When we talk about middle relief in a game, keeping you close, giving you a chance, we gave up a 3-run home run. After that period of time, after that moment, he was lights out, and then Daly lights out, Rincon lights out, and then Todd Helton hopefully turning the lights out on Arizona. We'll go to the night, 4-3 Colorado. digital home phone service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, donate your car and you'll get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. And by Mike Shaw, Chevy Saab, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. On a beautiful Wednesday afternoon at Coors Field with the majestic Rocky Mountains in the background, Todd Helton has had a day for the ages. 4-3 as we go to the ninth. Tom Helmer excited to bat, to chat about it a little bit.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. After the game, of course, we'll be in the clubhouse. Hear from Todd Helton and his teammates. Also, we'll talk about Carlos Gonzalez. His sunny disposition, plays great during day games. Needed a big game today, got it. Then, of course, plenty of Todd Helton. We'll talk about his 500th career double, the home run here that may be the game winner. It's all coming up on the Rockies post-game report. Drew?
All right, Tom, we'll look forward to that. Couple of changes. Carlos Gonzalez in center field for 8 innings, slides to left. Seth Smith comes out, and Dexter Fowler into center field defensively. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Houston Street, who has had a fantastic first year in a Rockies uniform, will be asked to get the 25th, 26th, and 27th outs. And wouldn't you know it, the first guy he'll face has been the star for Arizona the last 2 days, Miguel Montero.
Yeah, but Houston Street in his last 12 ball games only given up 4 hits in 11 innings. .79 ERA during that time. You're right, though. It always seems like there's one guy that a closer has to get through. Right now, it's Montero.
And the fastball is down low. Houston Street, one of the biggest reasons, Huey, that he's 23 of 24 in save opportunities. He stays ahead and he locates really well.
Well, locates down in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what helps him because he's able to locate both sides of the plate, but more importantly, at the knees.
Except for that one, but that's all right. It worked. 1 ball, 1 strike. Montero, Chris Young, Josh Whitesell. Rockies led 1-0 after 2. Montero hit a 3-run home run in the top of the 3rd against Jimenez, just the 6th home run he's allowed. It was 3-1. Rockies have battled back. This is on the ground. Easy play for Helton. That's a big numero uno. Here's today's Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Let's not forget the work of Matt Daly in the 7th and the work of Juan Rincon in the 8th. 1, 2, 3 innings for both of those relief pitchers. That's brought to you by the Mercedes-Benz. You must experience the amazing new E-Class. But today is about number 17. 3 hits, single, double, home run. His 500th career double. His 321st career home run. Chris Young 0 for 3. And slider for a strike. He may have the latest moving slider of anybody we've seen this year.
He does, because it starts out at about 58 feet before it starts to break. I mean, it's right at the last second. And by that time, a hitter cannot change his swing to adjust to go down and get it.
On the outside corner, just a smidgen off, evidently, 1-1. If you're wondering, folks, about the Giants and Atlanta Braves, they play tonight. Giants have lost the first 2 in Atlanta. Here's the 1-1. Foul back, and Street works ahead 1-2. Hey, there's something we haven't mentioned very quickly. On Friday, after the off day, the Giants come to town. Jason Marquis scheduled to go against Matt Cain, but because of that blister, which has been very painful for Marquis, in fact, he said he was making up pitches, grips at least, especially on throwing his sinker the other day in a great performance in San Diego. The Rockies have pushed him back to Tuesday in New York, so Hamill will go Friday. 1-2, did he go? Yes, indeed, 2 outs.
Well, no, why throw a fastball when you can just throw the slider to get him to swing at it? And Chris Young just, I mean, that ball didn't even start in the zone, but he had committed so early to try to hit a ball out that he missed that ball by 8 inches. Well, for San Francisco tonight, Lincecum's pitching, so you know you got to, the task, you get the win here because of the way Lincecum's been pitching. For Atlanta, it's Jair Jurgens.
That's
Pretty
a heck of a matchup.
Pitching matchup.
First team to 2 wins. 2 outs, nobody on. Josh Whitesell at the plate. Rockies up 4-3 in the 9th. Crowd standing. Strike 1. Whitesell a double in the 2nd. Since then, a fly ball to left field and a called strike 3. Pitching matchups for that Giants series, Hamill and Kane in the first ball game. On Saturday, De La Rosa and Jonathan Sanchez. He had the near perfect game. Aaron Cook and Ryan Sadowski will go on Sunday.
Right.
2-1.
Boy, yeah, the way Jorvin held that ball, he really wanted that one. Cam, when you set up as a catcher and it still stays on your body, you don't move the glove, you freeze it, you hold it for the umpire. I mean, you did everything you could other than get the strike call.
That's the make good right there.
Yeah, it was.
That was the make good. And Josh White saying he's upset. And you understand from his perspective because that pitch was lower than the previous pitch.
Right, and because Jorvin catches this ball kind of going away. He doesn't frame it, turn it in. I mean, that pitch was worse than the one before.
No question about it, and it may have been away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. 4-3 Colorado. Here's the 2-2.
Well, I like the thought process. Go back out again, because you've had a couple one that was called a strike, the other one was called a ball. But go back out there, see if you can get another call by DJ Rayburn.
30,457 rooting on the Rockies as they try to go to 52-43. Like a changeup. Here's the 2-2 again.
Yep.
He's got him. Strike 3. And the Rockies come from behind and beat the Diamondbacks 4-3. Todd Helton, the star today, as he has been on so many occasions in the past since he broke in 1997. Helton leads the Rockies as they take a rubber game from the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-3 to final. Helton a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 8th. And Mr. Automatic Houston Street, no drama in the 9th. The 1-2-3 9th as the Rockies win it 4-3.